Alright guys, welcome back. So today is going to be fairly easy, decent day. So I'm going to get this metal cleaned up and then I'm going to get this ring welded into place. Looks pretty good. It's the inside. Alright, I'm gonna start making the flat stock. Alright, here it is next day. Got everything welded up. Sorry I didn't film it. It's getting really dark out. The welds look really good. Not perfect in some areas. That's probably my worst weld. I don't know why, it wouldn't stick there for some reason. But other side, overall, looks really good. Got the ring all welded up and smoothed out. Got kind of concaved in just so it gives it a nicer finish. So yeah, really happy with how it's coming out. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the air duct on. Just slide right in. Got kind of muscled in there a little bit. Perfect. Looks really good. All right, moving on. One more thing, this wasn't really on the agenda, but these original headlight mounts, I'm gonna cut them off, grind them smooth. Shouldn't have done this a while ago, but never did, so now's the time. So I did this side, looks really good. I just gotta do this side next. And also, I might go over these welds again. They don't look very good, so I'm gonna try and clean them up as best I can. But first things first, get this hideousness out of the way, and then get these re-welded. Luckily, they're relatively even, so I don't have to cut them off and start over, so that's a plus. But all right, let's go ahead and start chopping on this side. A lot better. Not perfect, but nothing I do is perfect. Once it's painted, you won't even see it. But overall, I'm happy with how the welds turned out. Turned out really good, much better than the last ones. The last ones I did 5 years ago, so I've definitely improved a lot since then as far as welding skills go. I think while we're here, I want to do something about this headlight guard. As you can see, it's a little bit too loose, and also they're kind of bent in at an angle, which I don't like. So I'm thinking the best thing to do is to bend it here and make it straight so it fits a lot nicer. I had to redesign the tabs a little bit so it can go around the light, but let's go ahead and get the light installed. You get a washer for these. Really solid now. You can almost lift up the bike with it. But cool, now that's done. Let's go ahead and get started on the fender brackets. I hope these holes are still decent. I was planning on using them. Just running a piece of flat stock along this cross member here. They look like they've been smashed in. I can't really tell. But I need to run a thread chaser through there, make sure the threads are still good. I think they're M6 by 1.0 or something along those lines. I already kind of have what in mind what I'm going to do, so I'm going to run a piece of flat stock along here, and I'm going to run a second piece of metal down here on both sides so it can bolt to the original fender mounts off of the 110. So right about here is where I want the fender to sit. So it looks pretty good. So I got the piece of metal up there, and I'm gonna weld a piece of metal and angle it around this fork and down along there. And I'm gonna try and follow the contour of this fender mount. So that's gonna be a lot of work, but I think it's gonna look really good when it's done. Whoops, whatever. But so I'm gonna go ahead and get to it. What I'm gonna use is, got me 1/8 inch thick flat stock, 2 inches, and it was 4 feet long, but not anymore. All right, so have it butted up against there. So we're looking at about 10 inches. All right, so I made both marks, line them up this way and going across, so I know it's even both ways. And where the lines intersect, that's where I'm going to drill my first set of holes. So I need to make my bend mark right where it's going to clear the fork. So right about there. And then I'll just mirror that on this side. All right, welcome to my workshop. So got these bent pretty good. The short side faces top, and the long side is where the bolts are going to hook up. So typically the fender's straight. This should also be straight, roughly, and looks like it pretty much is. So that's good news. So I'm going to get it tacked into place, and I'm going to take that piece back off and fully weld it and test fit everything again, make sure everything works. That's about where it's going to sit. Alright, it's one side. And the other. I'm going to have to cut these down a little bit. They only came in 1 inch and 1.5 inches. They didn't have 1.25 inches, which is technically what I needed. Got these bolts in the top. Got the back holes, got the tabs welded in. Got the holes ready for the bolts. I don't have 2 extra bolts apparently, so I gotta go to the hardware store and get some more. I also drilled out these access holes for the front bolts because these bolts, I can't extract these out and I can't get the fender out without taking those bolts out. And I can't get these bolts out unless I take the whole bracket off. I can't get the whole bracket off unless I have these access holes to take these bolts off. So, you know, one thing leads to another. So it's on there now. Looks really good. All right, so I got these bad boys. It's basically what I use for this. Weld onto the fork. Obviously these don't come off anymore, but I got 4 of these. Came in a pack of 4, but I think I'm only gonna need 2. So I'm thinking 1 on the inside, and 1 sprocket there, 1 sprocket here. And one more like that. That should work perfectly. Then I have the drive chain. Then I'll have the drop chain. Then I'll have the idler chain. So, got me number 40, which is equivalent to a 428 millimeter in metric. So it works for these ATC 110s, in case you're wondering. And if you're looking for one of these chains, I got a link in the description below for you guys. But so I'm gonna line these up as best I can. Make sure there's no binding. And be careful when you weld, because there are bearings on here. Don't want to fry those bearings and heat up the grease too much. And cool thing is these are removable, but I'm not going to remove them. I'm just going to be as careful as I can. But so first things first, get it tacked up, and then I like to fully weld it all the way around if possible. Hopefully we won't have any issues with that. I'm going to go as thin as I can on the bead, but I'm going to tack it while it's still on the shaft to make sure they're perfectly straight, because this has to be just right. So then I'm going to tighten this up just to hold this in place, and then we'll go from there. Get it tacked in place, looks really good. Put one here. Oh no. Alright, let's do this. There we go. A little looser than I'd like, but probably on the run a tensioner. Or I could run a bigger sprocket. I'll probably keep an eye out for one, but it should work for now. Come on, man. I think this is gonna work. I think this is us. So, I love it. All right. Looks really good. The next thing is put my new brake handles on. Replace these. One broke, unfortunately, so I'm gonna get these replaced real quick, and that should be it for now until I get some more stuff coming. And I like to put the kickstand on as well. This piece is too big. I'm gonna go ahead and do this side. This one actually has an emergency brake lock, which is kind of neat. Like that. That's pretty cool. Now these are Honda 200S brake handles. Came pack of two, left hand and right hand. So these are OEM replacements, which is kind of nice. Back this out a little bit. I need some adjustments, but I like it. I'm gonna shave this down a little bit, but I'll take care of that later. I gotta get going. All right, I'm back. So I need to get these brakes done. This side's done, working good. This side, the bead is a little too thick, so I gotta shave it down just a little bit with a grinder. And this goes to the rear brake cable. Almost there. Gotta keep shaving away at it. All right, not perfect, but it looks pretty good to me. like a glove. Love it. All right, let's go ahead and get it hooked up. All right, now the foam part, getting this guy mocked up. So I ended up drilling a 1/2-inch hole. It's the perfect size for this guide pin. It's got a little bit of play in it, but no big deal. I'm just gonna weld it to the bottom of the fork like this. Drew a line. Got a couple of design ideas. I don't know if this will be the final design, but I'm liking the way it's looking so far. Alright, got the main piece cut out. As you can see, that's my original line. And it was a little too close to this hole. I want to give myself as much meat as possible. And I might round off this edge a little bit, just so I don't poke myself later. And what I used for a template was a center hole of the cutoff disc. You could use something like this as a reference. You could use anything really, like a quarter or anything round, honestly. But I'm gonna go ahead and finish it up, smooth off all the edges, wait for it to cool down. It's still a little warm. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get to it. It's hard to hold stuff with gloves. Square it up as best I can. Looks pretty damn good. I got it tacked in place. I might have to take this wheel off so I can get to the back side. But it's taking shape overall. Alright, keep burning away at it. Alright, so I'm definitely going to take this wheel off to get to the back side of that bracket so I can weld it. So I figured I'd do that now, just to avoid the headache later. So one of these links is the chain lock. I don't know which one. Aha, there it is. That guy right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and take him off, and then once I do that, that whole chain should be free. Shouldn't be under too much tension. And I'm just gonna loosen this bolt and pull the rod out, and that wheel should just slide right out. Now the brake cable is connected on this side. Hopefully I can just keep it connected. And I just weld it up real quick and then put it back in place. Alright, don't lose this little locking clip. And since I'm not running a tensioner, this is a little, I do remember it being a little tight. Might have loosened up. That was easy. Just set this up top. Just got that piece there. So don't lose these pieces. Should be 3 of them. So the master link, there's 3 pieces. You got the chain pin, and you got backing plate, and you got the locking plate. And it goes in front of the backing plate. I don't know the exact names for these, but anyway, just be sure you have all 3 pieces. So we got our chain tucked up and out of the way. Next thing to do is remove that wheel. It wasn't that bad. Damn. Pretty damn good weld. Backside. It's really good. How straight is it? Looks very straight to me. But yeah, I think that's gonna work. I'm happy with it. I'm gonna let it cool down. Then I'm gonna put the wheel back on. But first things first, I want to clean this up and in due time get it ready for paint. Looks good. I need to fix that. So what's going on is I have a washer, or a shim I should say, on this side. You can see it on the inside of the fork arm there. So that washer is the exact diameter of the threads, but not the bolt. The bolt widens when the threads end. So if you come on this side, it's actually hitting the end of those threads, not allowing this bolt to go all the way through. So either I need to put a washer on this side or get a slightly bigger shim for that side. I need to get my caliber and measure. So, all right, let's continue on. Was back on. I did manage to fix the amount of gap in play that was in the wheel due to that shim being right there. But all I did was I walled out the shim a little bit and the bolt fits right in there now. So wheel's nice and straight, rolls really good, or decent. But check this one more time. This looks good. Everything's in place. Check the brake handle. Yep, looks really good. I want to move this over a little bit. And I might move that one over a little bit too. So, all right. I do need to cut this, but it's too late out for that. Everyone's sleeping, so I can't make too much noise. One thing I need to stop doing is filming at night. But I know it's annoying to you guys, but gotta do what I gotta do, I guess. So I need to rebuild this motor. It's leaking like a sieve. It's leaking out of the clutch shaft here, but I'll do that last. Before I wrap this video up, I like to do one more thing. I like to see if I can get this kickstand replaced. I got one off of Amazon. This is the kickstand I got. So it seems pretty legit. Pretty thick material. Look a lot better than the jerry-rigness I got going on here. But it fits right onto that. Of course you guys can't see it. It's fucking dark. But you see, fits right into place. So hopefully we won't have any problems with fitment. And it's roughly same length, just about. I mean, that's pretty damn close. So I do need to find a way to have it come up without hitting the chain. I was gonna put it on the other side, but the muffler's gonna be on that side. So I think I'm just gonna keep it here since I already got the bracketry going on. I'm just gonna try and add to it. Some modifications are definitely gonna have to be made, but yeah, I think that'll look pretty damn good. Uh-oh. How that happened. You serious? Did I seriously do that? I mean, granted, I did this like 5 years ago. That's nuts. I don't know how I didn't see that. I cannot get this bolt out, guys. Check this out. It's completely in the way. I don't know if I can massage it out. I don't know what I could possibly do to get that out. I guess cut it. Really the only thing I can do. Alright, I guess we'll cut it. Well, bolt's out. Luckily the new kickstand comes with one. So you get a bolt and a spring. Which is kind of nice. Yep, just as I figured. Hole's a little too high. Have to shave this down. Not going to do that tonight though, but I'll leave everything right here. I'll be ready when I come back to it. So, sweet. Alright, here it is in the daytime, so I'm going to go ahead and continue on with the kickstand. So I kind of got my new arc going on. So it's enough clearance that I made these stopper notches. So when the kickstand comes down, it has something to lean up against to stop it so it won't go too far. So we'll get that ground down and see how it works. Looks pretty good. Gotta drill this hole out a little bit. Go ahead and do that real quick. Should work. And of course it's starting to rain. Story of my life. hopefully it won't hit chain. This brings out a lot of tension. See if I can do this. Ooh, Jesus. Like it. Hits the chain a little bit, but hopefully we can just bend that out. All right. Now I'll just get this bolt tightened up. Should be good to go. All right, that looks good. Clears the chain. Might be a little tight. This needs to be broken in a little bit. Yeah, I think that'll work. I like it.